Yes, he wanted to know if he could do a presentation.
I was wondering why we had a presentation and a public hearing on the same topic.
If it was needed to fill out some slides for hearing to give an explanation prior to the public hearing, I made the offer to have those slides available.
And does it, do we know, okay. So,
I just assumed that'd be same way either way.
What was that?
I just assumed that'd be available even for the public hearing.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why, yeah, have it available for the public hearing, so.
But it got you down to delegation.
do we, yeah, do we know
At
how
25 years.
The hearing's on.
And it has you as a public hearing.
And a delegation.
Possible delegation.
So I can make myself.
Yeah, so I made,
I can make
depending upon
myself
what we wanna do,
know
if we wanna have
that
a delegation like Pierre or myself give a quick presentation prior to public comment.
Yeah.
So that we have all of the information, so everyone has all of the accurate information.
No, I just assumed all that was in
Because when he said
Yeah,
25
Possibly
years,
will.
I made the offer one way or another.
And I never got an answer.
I didn't know that. If someone's got their wires crossed somewhere. All right. That's what I was thinking.
I just put it on there.
Regular,
costs-
yeah. Police officers is 25 years. Apparently that's in
would it
state.
be, so we need,
It is 25 years.
And look at my calendar.
Yeah. and 55.
Ladies and gentlemen,
All right.
we're live.
it was useful for you to listen.
That's a long one.
We're live. I just want y'all to know.
I don't, just everywhere.
Hey,
So,
everyone's right there, and they're running around. And this heat.
Third Street.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm not shocked and surprised, I've
Whatever
known
that
that man
Chase
for a
was last
long
week.
time, I know what he is. I'm not shocked,
We did the garages.
I'm not shocked, I'm not shocked at all.
It was like middle of the day. They ran over there.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, it was a white vehicle.
Oh my
I
heavens,
I drove by and it was creeping. One of the neighbors was gonna ask me if they're gonna, the sign.
Yeah, I mean, that,
That sign was gonna get repaired.
we're live. Yes, we are.
Probably eventually, because the Mercedes hit it. Yeah, okay. So I figured I'd.
Okay, everybody ready to rock and roll?
So I wasn't sure.
Ready, Brian?
I'm ready.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
So good to see you today. It is Tuesday. It is not, yes, it is not Tuesday. It is Monday, May 2nd, 2022. It is 5:32 p.m. and I would like to call the City of Oxford Board of Commissioners agenda meeting to order. And we are assembled here in the Commissioners Boardroom of City Hall, and the only business that we have to do tonight is to set the agenda for next Tuesday, May 10th, regular session. And just in case I miss it at the end of that agenda, I'm going to do a reminder for events in May. Building Hope Animal Shelter Donation Drive runs from today through June 3rd. Spring Employee Appreciation Luncheon is tomorrow from 11 to 1 at the Hicksfield Shelter. Those commissioners that are able to make it come ready to serve food in support of our employees. The Classic Car Cruisin' is this coming Friday from 5 to 8. And of course, our regular board meeting next week.
May I add one?
Yes, sir, please.
Memorial Day ceremony will be right outside. Social time starts at 10, the program will start at 11.
And that is the 30th? Wait,
I didn't have the calendar. Whatever that Monday is.
okay, hang on just a minute, let's take a look. Monday the 30th, because it is Monday, okay. So, Memorial Day celebration at the Veterans Memorial. And you said social
Sort of
starts at
gathering-
10?
Going to start gathering about 10, but the program will start at 11.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much, Commissioner. Okay. Thank you. And with that, we'll move forward to the agenda before us. There will be a change, just so you know, in the Pastor giving the prayer will be Radford, R-A-D-F-O-R-D, Frazier. We will double check the church. We think he's from Bethel United Methodist Church, but we'll double check that. Then everything else is standard. Lots of delegations. Acknowledge Morgan Run Employee of the Month, May Yard of the Month. Commissioner Khan, do you have a sense of whether or not you'll do a presentation on the social district then?
Yes, ma'am, we will.
Okay, so we'll change that to a capital P presentation and eliminate possible. And then we have 3 proclamations, and then finance overview by Hak Ung. And then we move forward to public use. So any questions on any of the delegations, anybody? Okay, then we'll move forward to public hearing on creating a social district. And so that's we've got basic information there, and then whether or not we want to consider approving the ordinance and the formation of a social district for downtown Oxford. I did have a question on my walk over to the meeting tonight that somebody asked me if we would consider maybe putting something online on the website that gives kind of the basic information, and if that's not appropriate. But Commissioner, you did such a great job writing down
Yes, ma'am.
in your response to Brenda Yancey. Is there something that we could give the city that could
ma'am.
say this is what's proposed so that?
I had that in my comments for this evening. I did not want to make that assumption or putting any information out there on behalf of the city without consent of the board and city staff. I did recommend to the DOEDC that they put out a press release as well based on their recommendations and why they are recommending that type of district. I think that will be happening as well. But certainly we have information ready to go, and if the city would like to post it, it will be a legal requirement of the city to have that information posted on the website if it is in fact adopted
Right.
and approved.
But this would be, because I think there have been a number of changes since it was originally proposed before
That
the
is
planning committee. And so there's a lot of information and hearsay going around town. Mr. Thornton, is that a reasonable request that Commissioner Khan prepare a synopsis of this is what is being proposed? Or is that premature to do that now?
I think, one, that's a little premature, but I have 2 other potential options for you. The county, of course, publishes its agenda packet. And the agenda packet would contain a map and the information that all the board members have and be available on the website. I think that it's also possible for the Ledger to be encouraged to write a story and publish information this Thursday in regards to the social district and use their platform to put that information in there.
So that is in the works, but again, without having a conversation with city staff on my busy schedule, I recommended that it come from the DOEDC and their recommendations, which are again synonymous with what will be presented. So that is in the works and should be that press release, or how they decide to frame it, should be ready to go and presented to the Ledger tomorrow for hopeful publication on this Thursday.
So maybe then to add on to that, rather than using the city website, would you consider sending out to the rest of the board, because many of us have social media pages, and if we want to take any information out of that,
Yes.
and also post it on our Facebook pages to say, we understand there have been a lot of questions, this is right now what is being presented.
Yes.
Has not been
I have that-
adopted.
I have that ready to go, and I can email that out to this evening to the entire board.
That would be great.
Just in anything that you post, make sure that they understand it is proposed, subject to
Yes.
approval of the board at a formal vote.
Yeah.
I will adjust the wording, because right now it states recommended, so I will adjust it to reflect what you just said.
Proposed for consideration.
Proposed for consideration.
Excellent. Lastly, not related to this, there is a little bit of feedback with the microphones that we're working on. Mr. Blasco is working on the sound so that we can be straight for next week's meeting, so we just appreciate your patience with that. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Mr. Thornton. We move down to city business. You know, we're gonna receive the proposed budget from the manager and consider calling for a public hearing for the June meeting. And so that's pretty straightforward. So does that mean we will not have the proposed budget before, so we'll have it Tuesday?
If I can get it completed and put in your agenda packet, it will be so.
Okay,
We're trying to, you know, make it as shiny as we possibly can for presentation to the board and public.
Scrubbed on it all day.
you scrubbed on it all day. Okay, well, you know, I don't think we need shiny, but we were looking forward to the numbers. Excellent, thank you. Any questions on that item? Okay. Moving on, item C, consider approving a letter of support for the Legacy Tree Fund grant application. So this is exciting because we had this conversation.
We missed B.
You got the murals.
Oh,
Yeah.
I do apologize, please.
Okay.
Please forgive me.
That's okay.
I'm sorry. New glasses, I'm gonna blame it on those.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Consider calling for a public hearing for the June 14th regular board meeting to hear citizen input on the adoption of guidelines and application process for murals in the UDO, to add this to the UDO, and very exciting. And you have support information in attachment 5B. And it looks like you decided to make it as simple and straightforward as possible. Just awesome. Does anybody have any questions at this time for our planning director? Okay. Then, item C, consider approving a letter of support for Legacy Tree Fund grant application. So we had a conversation about this recently, so it's very exciting to look forward that we're finding some money for this. We thank the manager and all other staff that are responsible for finding this opportunity. Does anybody have any questions about this item? Okay, then we move forward to item D, which is to consider calling for a public hearing for approval of modifying previously approved Pud Hatcher Creeks for the June meeting, which is June 14th. And the modification involves allowing to be included in the commercial site, which is 7.25 acres. The original was strictly retail commercial, and now they would like to include self-storage units. And so that would require an approval by the board. Does anybody have any questions on this item at this time?
Just one.
Yes, sir?
Isn't self-storage commercial? Is it classified commercial?
It's, classified as warehousing,
Oh,
but
all
it is
right.
a permitted use
Okay.
in the highway district, but
Right.
it is also a deviation from what they originally.
Yeah, it is a
proposed.
deviation,
So,
yeah.
It is, but what we're talking about here is that Hatcher Creek basically went through a process for planned unit development.
Right, that's right.
So a planned unit development under our old zoning ordinance has requirements in it, basically, where you had to go through a process of having a planned unit development master plan approved.
Right.
And when you have a deviation or a desired deviation from that master plan, it is a process of determination of whether something is minor or major. If it's determined to be major deviation, then they have to resubmit for this board or this elected body's consideration of allowing that change.
Okay.
So that's the real reason behind that. It's not, doesn't have anything to do with what's approved zoning or anything else. It's that master plan that has changed.
Thanks.
That's right. And so based on that, any further questions from anybody in either direction? So I would just ask, Ms. Hart, is it going to be possible, because this is a pretty significant change from what was, if I'm recalling correctly, back at the original approval process, there was discussion about maybe having a dry cleaners, a couple of restaurants, a very different feel to that commercial area, are we going to be able to get a more detailed information before the public hearing to give board members time to ponder it? For example, the amount of space that they would allocate to storage and maybe also the original plan.
I have that now,
Mhm.
and I can include it for the agenda that's gonna go out, so if it's any questions you have before the public hearing, I can share those. So I can give you that in this.
I think a picture is worth 1,000
Oh, yeah.
words and more information. This is new territory for all of us, and I think we wanna make sure we understand the implications.
It'll go out.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Okay, then we go to the consent agenda, accepting the finance report by Finance Director Ung and the April meeting minutes. And with that, is there anything to add? Commissioner Khan, anything that you would like to add?
Nothing beyond what was just covered. We'll get that information out to everyone, hopefully this evening. You'll have it in your inbox by tomorrow morning. Don't wait up on me. So, my workday ends sometime after midnight.
Okay, then I'm sorry
But
to
you
hear
will, but
that.
you will have it in your inbox.
Okay, great. Commissioner Gilreath?
Earlier today, I emailed Cindy and Alan about a budget meeting and asked Cindy's assistance in setting that up and coordinating that with your busy schedule and Quan's, and just to make sure that you guys will be available, okay?
The sooner we can get it, the better, because my schedule is hectic at the moment, travel-wise, so.
Okay, I would say send her your druthers.
You should have gotten it in your inbox a week or so ago. My current out of dates. I think I sent it to you, and I also texted it to Mr. Phillips. I'll double. If you don't, the only way I can resend it to you because it's updated now. The week has gone by and it has changed.
Okay, excellent. Commissioner Tovey?
Yes.
I want to add one thing to the agenda for next week. Can I do it now, or shall we wait?
Nope, this is the time.
I want to add put before the board the recommendation from the Personnel Committee that we had this afternoon about the bonus, giving out the bonus as soon as possible to all city employees. If we can add that to the agenda for consideration,
I'm
certainly
going to
appreciate it.
assume that the personnel chair concurs.
Which, I was just thinking John took my thunder.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Well, it's your committee, his
It's Pat's
motion,
committee, yeah,
joint effort.
thank you.
Awesome. That's it for you, sir?
Thank you, that's it.
Okay, Commissioner Bridges,
Yeah, I don't have anything.
Mayor Pro Tem.
John took my thunder.
Okay, there you go. Commissioner Bullock. Commissioner Lumpkins.
No, ma'am.
We have a peaceful group today. I'm just taking my notes here. Mr. Thornton, anything on your mind?
There will be a scheduled closed session with the board permits added to the agenda in regards to land acquisition, retail, or excuse me, what's the word I'm looking for? It's been a long day. Property acquisition, disposition, whatever, however that statute
Yep.
is worded, we'll have the proper wording on the agenda.
Okay, great. And that's it?
That's all that I have, other than come to the Employee Appreciation Committee, luncheon tomorrow.
Yep.
Several of us will probably be a little bit late to that. Tomorrow at 10:30 is our initial kickoff meeting with Stewart and selected city staff to start the process for our comprehensive land use plan. So we may be a little bit late getting to that, so somebody was gonna have to sing and dance just a little bit until the rest of us can get there.
Well, I can sing, and
Okay.
Commissioner Gilreath can do the dance.
And I would like to extend my appreciation to all the employees. I won't be able to make it tomorrow. I've committed to taking my aunt to a dreaded dental appointment. So to all of the employees, you are greatly appreciated.
We'll pass that on. So maybe you can let me know who will be sliding in late so that we won't be kind of like wanting to, we'll make sure.
Probably most of the folks you see in this room.
Most of the folks in the room. Okay, but all the employees will be coming and ready. You'll be
You've all been
there. We'll have
invited
some
and
key.
repeatedly encouraged to attend. So.
Okay, excellent. So who from the board intends to be there?
I will.
That's front. Oh, great. So we'll all be there with bells on. You can put us to work doing what we need to do.
Melissa can.
Melissa can.
I'm food taster.
Okay. Super.
You're invited too if you want a hot dog or a hamburger.
That's right. Mr. Burnett, do you have anything to add?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Okay. Well, and believe it or not, neither do I. So with that, is
Make sure it's got recorded.
in fact, I have always said, and you all know this, I may not have a vote, but that doesn't stop me from having an opinion. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Okay, that was a unanimous motion to adjourn. All in favor? Aye. Thank you for what you do, and we are excited about the meeting tomorrow. And good, I'm glad to hear it. You're gonna be an employee and not working. Yes, perfect.
Yeah, hit it back before we did a
They
long.
took it off the wall. I'm glad to hear that. There you go.
Hold up, I'm holding the chair
Good
for you.
deal. Thank you.
That's all right. Just